people still try and figure out what social's role is, and and ultimately how campaigns and commitments come together, and how we create these long-term relationships or bridges between ourselves, our brands as proxies, and our consumers. We're still trying to figure that out. Is it a PR-led revolution? Is it all about earned media? Is it all about blogger relations and influencer relations? Or is it ultimately about something else? Well, I want to introduce a new phrase to you. It's something that I call social amplification. It's a compound phrase, it's a two-word phrase, but I think it really represents, from a branding standpoint, or being able to actually put a label on something, probably the most simple, effective, and clear way of describing how social can bring something to the table. The Old Spice campaign is a great example of social amplification. The idea of amplifying is an interesting idea in of itself, because when you amplify, you make louder, but more importantly, you make clearer. The concept of an equalizer, an amp itself, is not just about noise, it's not just about volume, it is about quality as much as it is about quantity. You need both. You need, impressions, whether they're paid, whether they're earned, whether they're owned, or whether they're just natural impressions through word of mouth and through what I call non-media. You need to make sure that when you invest your time, your money, and all of your best and brightest brains in terms of building long-term, sustainable, healthy, defensible brands, that you have maximized the potential, the impact associated with amplification, quantity and quality. And social does that. Social delivers and social over-delivers. You need to make sure, ultimately, if there's something to avoid, it's what I say, the biggest risk we can take today is to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a campaign that nobody notices. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to see it, does it make a sound? I couldn't tell you, I wasn't there. That is the biggest opportunity, and you have content creators, and you have influencers, and you have weblebrities, and you have people that are hungry for content, hungry for access, hungry for throw me a friggin' bone, throw me something that I can sink my teeth into, that I can comment on, that I can debate, that I can discuss, that I can share, that I can comment on, that I can riff or mash, etc. Social amplification. Something you should be taking to your agencies, something that you should be asking for, something more importantly that you should be delivering on. Amplifying every single touch point, every single time that you come into contact with your customer, and making sure the message is loud enough to be heard and understood, and clear enough to be memorable, to be internalized, and to become a catalyst for change and action, and ultimately virality in terms of shareability, in terms of something that somebody feels compelled enough to share with their friends, with their family, with their network. Jaffe@powered.com, @JaffeJuice on Twitter.
It's time to flip the funnel now. Pick up a copy of my new book, available wherever books are sold.